This is James Nichols, author of How UK Should Be, and this is a video giving a brief summary of the book. So, chapter 1 is called Racism, and basically it goes into detail with the whole race aspect of the whole ideology, and it kind of points out that white empires were less evil than the non-white empires, and that the Japanese Empire was arguably worse than the Nazis, and the atrocities of the Mongol Empire, etc. It also ranks the best white ethnicities. I do believe that the white race is the superior in terms of intelligence, mainly intelligence in terms of creativity, because you could argue that the East Asians are on par with whites, but I do think whites are more creative on average. Um, and it also I also think the English are the smartest with their mix of native and Anglo-Saxon DNA. Because yeah, I do believe that, and after all, it was the Anglo-Saxons that won the war against the native Brits, so I do believe that. And if you look at all the technology feats of the English or British over the course of history, you and some facts and if you read the book, you would know. So chapter 2 is more on Muslims and religion. I do believe that Islam is an evil religion. The founder of Islam was a paedophile, and classes all non-Muslims as and I do and he classes all non-Muslims as infidels and wants Muslims to kill all infidels. So yeah, I do think Islam is a horrible religion and needs to be eradicated. Chapter 3 explains my new new concept of wealth classes, and it also goes into detail about AI a bit. I'm not a fan of AI. I think AI should be I think AI should be put a stop to in terms of technological research on AI. So I do think AI research should be halted because I think if it becomes more if it gets more technologically advanced, it could become quite dangerous, very dangerous, like even human extinction. Basically, wealth classes basically they redefine the economy, and obviously wealth classes would only happen if I was ever elected as leader of the UK. But yeah, I do wealth classes would divide people into four different groups. So there'd be class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, and this would eradicate money. And I think it would basically class 4 would be the unemployed, and so it would be like a work. It would be like it would reward people with work with a work-based system. So the more you work, the higher in class you are, the more benefits you will receive. And class 1 is for the top athletes, for the top athletes, for the high-ranking politicians, people like that. I think the wealth class system, my main reasons why I think wealth class system should be implemented is because it would take advantage of the resources we have, because the money very much restricts the amount of resources we can dish out and produce. So basically, the UK would become by far the world's most uh, produce industrial country if wealth classes were implemented in Britain first. I do think that my ideology, distributionism, revenantalism, whatever you want to call it, should should only be available to the white empires, or well, the white people basically, not white people but white countries. I mean, and chapter four is population and environmentalism. Uh, yeah, so I'm a big. I want to get more trees. I want to get more greenery in the UK, more forests and that. I think that'd be a good idea. And chapter five is foreign policy, militarism, and decisive government. So basically, I want the UK to become way more powerful, and I think that'll help control our affairs and basically under a distributionist UK. I think 5% of the population would be in the in the armed forces, the British Armed Forces. So that's just an idea of how powerful it would become because right now it is just about a third of the population are in the armed forces. So about not a third, sorry, I mean a third of a percent, a third of 1%, so 0.3% roughly the armed forces right now. So imagine how much more powerful it would become when 5% own the armed forces, and it also becomes a lot more industrial productive like it was in the past, but even more on a grand scale than that. And basically, I don't believe in democracy. I think the political structure of revenantinism slash distributionism should be, well, the leader of the country should be the emperor, and I think the emperor would have to probably get the king's permission to rule, and basically Parliament, as we know, would have to go, but a new Parliament would be elected. That'd be a distributionist run, but the main people running the country would be the emperor, and basically the emperor would be take get would have a national council, and the national council would be a group of 8 people, 8 very important politicians who would be advising the emperor on what to do. Chapter 6 is laws and order. Chapter 7 is the ideologies comparison and the weaknesses of communism and capitalism. And chapter 8 is culture in a distributionist run Britain. Chapter 9 is, sorry, hang on a minute. Yeah, chapter 9, distributionist revolution and colonialism. Chapter 10 is modern democracy, individuals and military tactics. And final chapter is conclusion. And I do think that in order to stop Islam, I do think the British Empire should be restored again. Not just the British Empire, but the French Empire, the Italian Empire, the Russian Empire. I think they should all be restored, and yeah, I think that's the only way to basically stop Islam, to invade and colonize it if we have to, and yeah, and then we can have peace and no more Islamic terrorism, and basically when the British Empire is restored, the colonies will be run by governors, so they'll be run by just appointed governors by the emperor. And yeah, that's it. So that's basically a brief summary of my book. Take care. Hope you have a good day. Bye bye.